Good afternoon. Welcome to Salam Media. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we have an extraordinary interview lined up that takes us to the heart of a critical humanitarian mission in the midst of a crisis in Gaza, in Palestine. I'm your host, Salailo Makwidir, and joining us in a bit, all the way from Cairo, is an AMA team comprising of Asghar Khan and Dr. Moeen Sali. They are coming to us all the way from Cairo, and the team, they is very dedicated team, I should say, is involved in preparing crucial humanitarian aid for the people of Gaza. We have an exclusive opportunity to gain, exclusive. Insight to the challenges faced on the ground and the tireless efforts being made to support the people of Gaza. Dr. Moeen Sali and Asghar, thank you so much for joining me. I know you guys are in Cairo right now. I'll start with you, Dr. Sali. If you can just quickly paint a picture for us. What is the overview of the current situation in Gaza? And what are you guys doing right now at your location in Cairo?
So I'm going to start. Assalamu alaikum to everyone, and I'm going to start with your second question first. We've linked up at a very exciting moment when you can see behind me the trucks. I'm just going to try to show it to you.
Yes. Yeah, as you can see there, trucks
So
upon trucks upon trucks, a convoy of
that
trucks.
are all lined
Yeah.
up and ready to be transported across the Rafah border and into Egypt. I mean into Gaza. So this has been a work in progress that has been going on for the last few days. We've been here since Saturday morning, and now you've seen the truck, so I'm going to walk into the warehouse to show you where the operations were taking place in terms of the packing of all of the hampers, the blankets, medical supplies. So this is
That's the
the warehouse that
warehouse.
we've been in for the last few days. I'll just walk with you. So here you can see the rest of the food hampers that are waiting to be packed. It's a massive operation going on here, and for now we've packed food hampers, we've packed blankets, we've packed sanitary packs, hygiene packs, and urgently required medication, and that has all been loaded onto the 5 trucks that you've seen outside, and the trucks are getting ready to leave in the next few minutes. So to give you an idea, the food hampers consist of mainly ready to eat stuff and things that are simple to prepare, like rice and flour. There's blankets because it's bitterly cold in Gaza at the moment. The sanitary packs, and then the medical supplies have already been loaded onto the trucks.
Just a quick question to the both of you. Just outside of the volunteer work that you do with AMA and your involvement with the organization, what inspired you to get involved in organizing humanitarian aid for Gaza? Maybe Asghar, you can just start maybe answering the question. What got you involved? What made you say I'm also going to take a stand, and I'm going to start working in helping providing aid for the people of Gaza who are in essentially a humanitarian crisis.
Hi, good day, Salilo.
Yeah.
Sorry, the sound's quite intermittent. So yeah, so we basically okay. So the question is, what inspired us? So what we see this is a humanitarian crisis. We do not see this as a Gaza problem only. It's a problem it's a need of our brothers and sisters, and it just happens to be in Gaza. This is a humanitarian need as in any other need. When we see ourselves as one nation. One nation, if one part of the limb is injured, the entire body feels it. And that is how we respond. It's a call to action for all of us as human beings. It's a human need. It's a humanitarian cause, and which extends and transcends anything that is cultural or religious or just the Palestinian crisis in itself.
And Dr. Saylor, just come back to you quickly. How is the coordination process of delivering aid to Gaza taking place? Especially given how complex and challenging the circumstances are right now. I mean, the Rafah border, it being opened, it being closed, people not being sure what's allowed to go to enter Gaza and what's not allowed, who's not allowed, and just take us through the process itself, and how do you guys see all the trucks ultimately making it to the other side of the Rafah border?
Okay, so Asghar and I are both volunteers for Africa Muslims Agency, and what we have seen unfolding in these last few days in terms of understanding the process. So donors will donate their funds, and then the partners, the team in Cairo will then procure all of the necessary food items, blankets, medical supplies, etc. These items are all specifically procured as per the requirements that are communicated to the team from within Gaza. So they will not just procure any random things. It's exactly what is required, especially in terms of the medical supplies, but also in terms of the food. We know it's bitterly cold there at the moment. There's been a lot of rain, so blankets are an absolute necessity. So in terms of the rest of your question, what the process is like, so then everything is procured in Cairo, packed into hampers, boxes, loaded onto trucks, and then the trucks are taken across the Rafah border, where it is then past the Suez and across the Rafah border, and then it is then received on the other side by the Palestinian Red Crescent. Okay, then in terms of whether...
But what we need to stress is that, sorry to interrupt you, before it reaches the Palestinian Red Crescent, because that's the organization that will be doing a lot of the distribution, it does get checked at various checkpoints. The first checkpoint on the Egyptian side is a town called Al Arish. Then it gets to the Egyptian side of the Rafah border. It crosses the border and it gets to the Palestinian side of the Rafah border. Before it reaches the Palestinian Red Crescent, the IDF do check it. There has been reports of occasional items being examined and checked whether they should remove certain items and so on. But however, we have been informed that 100% of the items that have been donated has reached. And yes, we have had reports of anesthesia, something as basic as anesthesia or anesthetic being removed, which is absolutely cruel. If one thinks about what that holds as an implication for those who have to go through any surgery. So yes, there have been those reports, but so far to date, all the foodstuffs and all aid that we have received has been distributed 100%. So in terms of logistics, yes, currently the turnaround time from a truck being loaded to the time that it gets unloaded is approximately 15 to 18 days. However, during the ceasefire period, that turnaround period is around 5 to 8 days. And as a result, we know that if there's an imminent ceasefire, which we've been told, hopefully there would be one, and with that imminent ceasefire, what that would mean is that there'd be a bottleneck and a lot of the goods would start obviously getting out of the warehouses, and hence the urgent need, we need to replenish the stock as the stock leaves the warehouses. And that's why it's a call to action to all persons, just donate to all the organizations that are currently supporting, that are active, such as the Africa Muslims Agency, that are active in Palestine and Gaza. There are 4 AMA teams currently active in Gaza, distributing and seeing to the distribution of the items as they are received by the PCR.
Okay, I think just another important thing to mention is that the latest statistics in terms of the number of trucks that have been crossing the border. So on the 16th of December, 121 trucks crossed through the Rafah border. So although it's not enough It's slow, but I think the important fact is to understand that the trucks are getting across.
Mm, mm. No, definitely, and I'm sure with a project as big as this and as complex as this, there must be some challenges and hurdles that you've encountered along the way. If you can maybe just share some of those challenges and how you guys ultimately overcame them.
So far everything has been running smoothly. There have been teams that have been in Cairo prior to our arrival. When we arrived, we got involved in the actual packing. The all the goods had already been procured. Like I say, Asghar and I are volunteers for AMA.
Mm,
Asghar is an engineer. I'm a medical doctor. So we joined the team as volunteers. So we were not directly involved in all of
mm,
the processes prior to coming here. We were involved with basically getting the trucks packed and uh, overseeing that whole process, understanding the whole process as it unfolds. So yeah.
mm,
I think just I think so often we do mention the challenges and so on, but what I can mention on a positive note is that there's an amazing synergy between the various organizations. So we have packaging agencies who assist us because obviously not all relief organizations are geared towards packaging hampers and packaging medical parcels and so on. We may procure the goods, but it's not always we're not always geared towards the logistics of trucking and packaging. And we've had one or two organizations who've assisted greatly, but also all other humanitarian organizations. There's a great synergy. Often we've had more than one organization in a warehouse, and we tend to give each other our spaces, and we tend to have a good working relationship with all the organizations. So I'm actually I know the question is about the challenges, but I'm
mm.
celebrating the fact which was a positive aspect and pleasantly surprised to see the good synergy in the work relationship and good work ethic amongst the various relief organizations such as Africa Muslims Agency, One Ummah, for example, from the UK, etc.
No, that's good. That's good to hear. To say, despite the challenges, you guys also encountered, some positive, working synergies. You mentioned it, but just, for the both of you, maybe just or on a personal level, what has been the most rewarding aspect of your involvement in this mission? As you sit alone and you look at the work that alongside AMA and you guys as volunteers are doing. What have you taken out of it?
So Alhamdulillah, sitting at home watching the horror unfolding in Gaza on social media, we feel absolutely helpless. I mean, what can we do? We make dua, we can send funds, but then beyond that, we feel like I wish I could do something. And
Mm,
then this opportunity came about where we were able to come here and participate and hopefully in some small way contribute towards easing the pain and the suffering of our brothers and sisters in Gaza. And so for me, I can just hope and pray that Allah accepts that little effort on our part, and that it's in some way can go to alleviating the pain that our people in Gaza are feeling.
inshallah.
Okay, so just for myself on a personal level, looking at the boxes, looking at the items, we've gone beyond just looking at these items as goods. We started seeing how people would mill around these boxes and items, and having both Dr. Moina and myself being involved in Lebanon, for example, on the Syrian border, we've seen what impact these boxes have, and we see how it unfolds, how families actually gather, and just to see the gratitude. It's a combination of gratitude, relief, when they unpack the boxes. So we visualize and we see these items, and it becomes quite emotional for us because we see the moms holding this packet of flour, we see the dads holding these packets of flour or the water, and then also just something like the toiletries and the sanitary towels, for example, how that will help to restore the dignity of our moms, our daughters, wife, and mothers and so on, etc. So for us, it was quite an emotional experience knowing that we are touching these goods and that these goods are going to end up reaching all these persons on Gaza, people that we hold very close to our hearts. We feel it as one ummah, as one people, and knowing that these goods that you are holding in your hand and packing and saying, in the name of God, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, as we pack them, we feel that it will have a physical contribution towards them. But that doesn't take away from what the viewers can do at home. You have a hand, you have a direct hand. Had it not been for their generosity, for the mercy and grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we would not be able to pack this flour and butter and all these medical items and the sanitary items, etc., into these boxes. So we urge each and every one, yes, you may not be here, but it is as inspiring, and I promise you, your reward is as much, if not more, for contributing whatever it is. And if you are not able to contribute, just your du'as and your prayers and encouragement of others to contribute, assist, every little bit helps.
Yeah, and I'm seeing all of the packages lined up, behind you. The people that are going to receive these are people that are you're probably not going to meet in your life. If you could just send a message to the people of Palestine, to the people of Gaza right now, what would you say to them? Knowing that they will be touching these same, packages and packets that you've put together and that they will be receiving.
If I could send a message to the people of Gaza, I would say to the people of Gaza that they should pray for us. We are the ones that need their prayers, and they are people who are being oppressed, and yet they are bearing it with the most beautiful patience. And my request to them would simply be for them to pray for me.
Mm, mm. And is Aska there? Oh, so what is that what the packet comprises of? I'm not
It's
sure.
two of the items that are in the package.
So it's a bit dusty.
Okay,
Yeah, I just want to show you. This is maybe just brings it a bit closer to home. Two
true.
items that we often I find in our cupboards at home. This is simple butter. It's got all the good fats that you need. This is flour for making bread. So, I mean, these two items are items with the mixture of water, something very basic. They are able to mix this. They're able to make bread just over an open fire. So it's dry goods such as macaroni, such as rice that can be boiled. And these are some of the items, and I'm bringing it to the camera just to show the viewers, just so that it makes it real. And you can see that and I can go to the box. Let's see if you can go to the box. And I just wanted to show you, for example, there are some canned goods. There's
Mhm,
canned beans, for example, and something as basic as water. So
mhm,
these are items that we tend to take for granted, but these are items that are going to be absolutely essential for the survival of these families. Here you got some
mm.
rice, and we have one of the brothers now trying to pack the rice. And just if we can take a walk across to
Yes, yes,
on the
definitely,
far edge.
definitely.
Yeah, I just want to take you to some of the items. We've got some. Okay, just I want to take you to some of the medical items that we saw. Let me go back
Mhm.
up. Yeah, just
Well, these images are coming to you live from Cairo, where the African Muslims Agency is currently organizing a very crucial humanitarian aid effort for the people of besieged Gaza. We all know the situation and what's currently happening. For our brothers and sisters in Gaza who are going through probably some of the most
Dr. Moon,
atrocious
just to
human. Yes,
just to show you. So
yes,
now
yes, yes.
we've got toothbrushes. This is the other pack. This is
Yeah.
toothbrushes. It's a toothpaste. It's got soap, and I think this is sanitary towels, which
Yeah.
we tend to take for granted. But at the moment, our the dignity of our mothers, of our wife, of our children, of our daughters is under attack.
Mm,
The news that's coming through is there's an urgent need for hygiene um, materials, for sanitary towels, for all sorts of other, for example, something as basic as toothpaste, toothbrush. The people are basically displaced. That's 1.2 million people, 1.9 million people that are displaced, that are basically, they've just moved away with the clothes on their back. and they have nowhere to go. They have no water. They have none of these items, essential items that we take for granted. And all we're saying is it costs 1,500 rand for one family. But even if you have 150 rand and 10 people contribute, you are able to support one family with a pack that includes all the essential foodstuffs, medicinal items, as well as the hygiene items, and as well as a blanket. But any amount. And then, if there are organizations that are collecting for Gaza, if it's your mosque, wherever it is, please donate. Put your hand, dig deep, put your hand in your pocket, contribute, because invariably that money will reach Gaza with your intention, with your purity of your niyyah, and with the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and everyone's efforts. The money and the goods will reach Gaza.
And I've asked Dr. Sally this question. I'm going to ask you also, ask her. If you could, these packets, if you can send them with a message, if you could whisper a message to them, to all the families that are going to be receiving them in Gaza, so they open it, they would hear your message. What message would you like to send to all the people of Gaza?
We tell Gaza, continue to inspire us, continue to be strong, but know that we are with you. We will never leave you. The people of Gaza are in our hearts. They are front of mind. You will never leave our minds, and you will never be far from us in terms of our assistance. So please keep strong. Gaza is you, and you are keeping Gaza alive. You are keeping Palestine alive. The dream, the idea of a free Palestine rests with you. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you strong and preserve you. And we are there for you in every way we can be.
I know you two gentlemen are busy. Before I let you go, Dr. Sally, for our listeners and viewers who are, inspired by your work, what actions can they take to contribute and to support the ongoing humanitarian efforts that you guys are actively involved in Gaza?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. There's a bit of noise. But
Right,
I think you asked
yeah,
how can they contribute?
yes.
Okay, so please go to Africa Muslims Agency page, africamuslimsagency.co.za. I'm sorry, I'm rushing out at the moment because the trucks are leaving and we are going to be accompanying the trucks to the furthest point that we will be allowed to go. So I apologize, but I think I need to end this interview if you'll allow me to, please.
No, definitely. Thank you so much for.
And we are going to be accompanying them to the furthest point that we can get.
Definitely. Jazakallah so much for giving us your time. You guys are doing really, really important work. You have our support here on Salam Media. You have all, our thoughts and prayers of the Ummah. And yeah, I'm sure, you have bigger things to attend to, and in making sure that aid reaches the people of Gaza. Thank you so much for giving us your time, and inshallah sending all of our love and du'as, and we hope those trucks do reach the people of Gaza. Jazakallah and salam. Wa alaikum salam. Yeah, there you have it in real time. Africa Muslims Agency team with a convoy of trucks sending them to the people of besieged Gaza. If you want to contribute, if you'd like to be a part of this mission, a very crucial mission, a very crucial humanitarian effort, you should go to Africa Muslims Agency's website, social media, www.africamuslimsagency.com. I'm sure they'll have all their details there, and you can also, in your own little way, contribute, to the people of Gaza who are going through probably the most, I don't know, in modern history is probably the most atrocious victimization of a people we've seen presently, and here in South Africa and all of the organizations involved, we pray and hope that we continue to make those efforts to make the struggle, a very difficult struggle of the people of Palestine, to be a bit easier. But from me here in Johannesburg, South Africa, and my colleague Kolani behind the desk is goodbye and salamu alaikum.